Like surprise. Huh?
Black
Oh,
screen.
good question.
It's good. Restart. Okay. Yeah.
Question number four. Sorry.
Four.
4. Question number 4 from Izad Mirza. Can you speak Tagalog?
Opo.
Opo.
Anong gusto mo sabihin ko?
Ano?
What do you want me to say?
Let's say let's test you. Say I'm Phil Younghusband and I'm proud to represent the Philippines in the AFF Suzuki Cup.
Ako po si Phil Younghusband. Proud ako na mahirap yun.
Okay, you can speak some. You can get away with it.
Yun.
All right,
Represent.
AFF.
Patulong sa daw.
Oh.
Hindi kaya sila. Proud ako.
Makapaglaro sa Pilipinas.
Makalaro na ako sa Pilipinas. Yeah.
Galing, huh? Okay, moving on. But very good, very good. I'm sure we'll both get better at that. Question number 5 from
Gumagaling kami.
question number 5 from Carl Murray J. Philippines is not a football country, but why do you still play for the flag? Do you have any vision and mission for Philippine sports?
I play for the flag because this is our country. You know, we are Filipino and we represent the flag, and you know, in the sport we love so much. Yeah, we love the Philippines, you know, and it's somewhere we grew up. It's part of our lives. It's part of our family, and that's why we give everything for our country. We're proud to be Filipino and proud to have Filipino roots. So you know, we're representing our mother, you know, our hometown in the Philippines. So it's only right that we represent the Philippines.
Yeah. And your vision and mission for Philippine sports?
Just continued growth, continued progress. I think we've seen over the last 8 years, you know, progression in Philippine football, domestically and internationally. And I just want continued progress and growth, because I think if Philippine football can grow as much as it did in the last 8 years, in the next 8 years, I think we'll be on another level again. So because when we joined, we were 192 in the world. We're 114. I think our highest was 109 or something like that. And I think, and then we're in the Asian Cup for the first time. We're reaching the semi-finals we're qualifying out of the group in the AFF Suzuki Cup regularly. So I think there is progress in terms of the results. Women's football as well, youth football. There's a lot more programs for youth football in the Philippines. So yeah, I definitely see a lot more growth. And my mission is to help as much as possible. You know, any way I can help, any way we can help, you know, we're willing to do.
That's awesome. Very good, Phil. Very good.
Phil?
Swap over?
Yep. Mike.
No, it's okay.
Just
2? Okay.
flip the screen. Okay.
Okay.
Scroll down.
Test me.
Okay. Let's go.
Handa ka na, kuya? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Handa ka ba?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Kapatid.
Closer.
Closer. Don't be shy. Test me with the questions.
Okay.
Yes.
My first question for you, James, is from Nguyen Min Kang.
Hello, Nguyen.
Nguyen.
Nguyen. Hello.
How do you change the mindset of the Filipino people to be more interested in football instead of basketball, volleyball, and boxing? Very good question.
Very good question. I don't really see it as trying really to change their minds, because me personally, and I'm sure with you, Phil, it's you grow up with a certain way, and whatever you see, you fall in love with that sport. And it's our mission isn't to convert basketball fans, volleyball fans, or boxing fans to convert them into football, to not football to be their number one sport. It's just we want to show how the Philippines has good potential, actually great potential in football, and show that there's a other sport there as well. So it's not really us seeing these other sports as competitors, but also we're just saying football's a sport as well, and we want to share what football has done for our lives with people in the Philippines.
Yeah, very good. I think we want internal growth within football rather than so much growth against the other sports.
Yeah, it's like you and me. We're into other sports as well. We're into basketball, like the Olympic sports. Phil, you're into tennis. Big Roger Federer fan, and so like we grew up loving football, and we also want people to have football in their lives as well, in the Philippines and in the world as well.
That's right. Good. Second question from Daniel Vu.
Hello, Daniel.
What do you think about Vietnam? Is this a great country in Asia? I hope you enjoy your time here as the last chance in AFF Cup 2018 as well.
Our last chance?
AFF Suzuki Cup 2020, because you may not have the chance to go to the final match.
Oh yeah.
Good luck from Vietnam. Oh, that one hurts, Daniel.
That one hurts.
Daniel Vu.
But thank you for your question, Daniel. No, it's we have big respect for Vietnam. I mean, just being here in the hotel, the staff here have been very accommodating, very nice, very polite, and it's as well the media just coming to our training, and it sort of makes us feel makes us feel good in a way, like that. There's this attention for football and this like recognition, and we look at the facilities that are here in Vietnam, and the stadium, the training complex, and I posted on Instagram yesterday, I'd love to have that in the Philippines, and it's great to see the passion for football here, and even just after training, has some Vietnamese fans wanting to shake our hands and want pictures with us, and it's really great. And of course, that's the thing with football, it can be competitive, but also there's that mutual respect between teams, and bringing cultures together, and I think that's fantastic. With last chance to Suzuki Cup, we'll see. That's the thing with sports, you never know what the future holds. That's what we all want. We don't know how things are going to turn out, and that's why we all compete, and that's why we're all into the sport. And I'm looking forward to see how things turn out, and I always want to be positive, and I think that's why me and my brother, we stay in sports, stay in Philippine football sports, because we see so much potential, and we see there's so much room for growth, and I think Philippine football has a bright future.
Yeah, that's good. So you're just speaking about the Vietnamese media. They did the press con earlier with Sven.
Oh yeah, you got to see that.
And one of the questions I actually asked Sven was, how do you feel about some of our players not singing the national anthem? I want to hear your opinion on that.
I'll be honest.
I think they all know it. They're just shy to sing.
Yeah, of course. It's you said, of course, I'm being honest, most of us know it. Maybe some choose to. They're really focused on the game, and their mind's really focused on the game, and maybe they're shy to sing. But I'll be honest, most of the players in our squad know the national anthem.
Sorry, third question from Ernst Dulay. What do you say to the referee when they give you a yellow card?
I haven't got a yellow card.
Yellow cards.
Not in this tournament.
Is there even a point in arguing with them? Can they undo a yellow card from reasoning with you?
Okay. Well, now we're much. Yeah, very good question for me. I'm 32 now, and when I was younger, I was much more of a hothead. I think but as you get older, you learn things, and I think I've learned that the most important thing, I think, when in anything in life, is communication. I think when the referee the referee communicates well, and also same for us, the players communicate with the referee, I think there's a better understanding of things, and if not, you kind of don't know where you stand with each other. And I think it's as we say, it's good when the referee knows your name, and you feel. And I think the players should maybe know the referee's name as well. And I think that's a way of showing respect for each other. And this tournament I haven't got a yellow card yet. I've been quite a good boy, and no bad challenges. Maybe cheeky shirt pull in the first game against Singapore, but it's part of the game, but I think the important thing is it's always about communication.
Yeah, I think you're exactly that. Took the words out of my mouth there. It's all about communication. Fourth question from RV Rivera. Back when
Hello,
you
Sorry.
back when you started, the Philippines didn't have a professional league. We did have the Filipino Premier League, which started just a few months ago. Which lasted just a few months.
I remember. Yes.
Eventually, we got the UFL and the PFL, which you played in.
Yep.
Has the establishment of these domestic competitions improved the quality of players coming into the national team? And what should be the next step for domestic football?
I think there's been lots of positives from the leagues. Of course, it's difficult because we're all having a league in the Philippines. It's new. I think we're all still learning, still developing. I think we're finding what works, what doesn't work, especially with the culture. If I'm being honest, I think
growing pains, right?
Growing pains, exactly. And it's not going to be perfect straight. I think it's improved the players in terms of, yes, we have more quality. I think players are fitter. Players are more sharp, in terms of with their clubs and playing with, if you have players playing with each other at their clubs, they're going to bring that into the national team, which I think is a positive. I mean, it's just it's sustaining the league, and I think to do that you need to have people interested in the league, and with that you need exposure with having the league on TV and having more people follow the league off the field. Yeah. And as I remember, it's the system in the Philippines is similar to the US. It's similar in terms of educational system, which is why I think we should look more in towards what works. Not saying copy it, but we should learn towards what works off the field in the system like it does in the US, rather than the European system, because as I said, the school system is very different towards it's Americanized, being nice. You have schools will take priority over the club system in the Philippines, and I think that's key stage for development of players as they're growing up. Yeah. Like me and you, we were playing football non-stop when we were teenagers, and that's the amount of hours we put in, the amount of hours we learn from the coaches at Chelsea. Yeah. And I think that's what you take to us when you grow up, and I think those are key stages in terms of development. So I think there's positives in terms of, at the moment we've got players playing regularly and playing every day and have careers in the sport. But I think in terms of long term, we may need to restructure a few things.
Okay, that's good. And sorry, the last part of that question was, what should be the next step for domestic football?
That's what I just said. I'm joking. Who's that from?
That's the same question.
Oh, same question.
The last
okay.
part of that question.
Okay.
What's the next step for domestic football?
The next step, I think, for domestic football is, I think we'd like to establish
What should be the next step?
I think we're the last 2 years in terms of local football, the schedule has been roughly the same. I think it's very difficult when because we have the ASCALs, the national team tournaments, the Suzuki Cups every 2 years. Yeah. So it's hard to plan the domestic season. I think it's good to have a set season, and of course summer's very key. I think in terms of getting kids into football. For example, I know I'm saying we should be different towards Europe, but I'm sure it's in this. I'd like to research more how it's done in the US. But for example, you have summer holidays when that's the off season in Europe. Yeah. But I think that's you want to get kids more into the sport. Maybe the players who aren't playing in the domestic start coaching in the summer. But of course, you want to have football happening so kids can watch the sport as well.
Some kids are going on holidays. Yeah, exactly. During the summer.
Exactly. It's
peak time in the season.
Yeah, I think the goal should be to create opportunity, not just for playing the sport, but also for the start, for other athletes, other people involved in the sports, physiotherapists, referees, coaches. Yeah. I think we should look at other aspects and look at developing those. And I think it's coming up with the right seasonal plan, so and then come up with a very long, a 10-year plan.
Yeah. I think also, they're all good points, and for me, I think the next step should also be TV coverage. We didn't have any last season. Coverage. Some football clinics going to the provinces, going to the barangays,
exactly,
and spreading the word of the league. Because a lot of people don't know that there's games actually going on. So I think we need to let as many people know about the game so that they can learn to love the sport and get involved.
Yep. exactly.
Last question for you, brother.
Who's it from?
Lei Hoi.
Hey, Lei Hoi.
What do you think about the local players and naturalised players in your country? Oh, that's a very
Well, I have to be the one to clarify.
naturalised word is often used.
Do we say it? We're not. We have. I will clarify this. We do not have naturalised players. We have players.
Well, what's the definition of naturalised?
Yeah, we have players with Filipino blood, but maybe didn't grow up in the Philippines to begin with. But now that we've all come to the Philippines to help develop football in the country. That's it. Yeah, we don't have naturalised players, but we have players with Filipino blood who learn their football education in the likes of other parts of the world. And then we have some players in the squad who learnt their football trade locally in the Philippines. So what was the question? I'm just clarifying that point of view.
Well, the definition of naturalised is someone who gains citizenship of the country but has no Filipino heritage or does not have any Filipino blood.
Yeah, we
okay, but everyone in our team has Filipino blood.
Exactly.
Has Filipino roots.
Yep.
They had their football education in another country, but they have migrated to the Philippines to help the growth of Philippine football.
Exactly.
That's so. So what do
you
you think
answered the question.
What do you think of the local players and the naturalised players in your country?
Well, local
not
players.
naturalised. The players who have been grown up abroad but have Filipino blood. What do you think about all those players?
I can answer this question.
Talk about Chiefy.
Yeah, exactly. You're reading my mind, brother. And it's my question. I mean, we were watching clips from the part. Like it was good Chris Greywich put on some clips from the history of the Azcal so far and from YouTube, and it was good to see. Like you see the goals that Emilio Calidon would score, and you're like, these are amazing goals. Like really, and it makes you like. And then obviously you have the Ian Araneta back in 2010, like the goal against Vietnam, getting the rebound from your shot and then picking out a pass that I didn't picking a pass out to Chris Greywich and Chris Greywich playing you in to score the goal, and that's what we mean, that there is great potential in the Philippines. It's just getting like more hours playing and these players have done very well. And recently you've got Jovan Bedic scoring at the equaliser against Thailand. You've got Armani in the squad. You've got Patrick Dato plays with us locally, who's made a big difference for us in Davao Aguilas at Belmari.
And he's played a lot of AFC football as well.
Played a lot of AFC, and that's when it's the opportunity. And moving forward, of course, we want to promote there is a future for people in the Philippines. And I think these are great examples, and that's what I mean. We'll find in the future we will find that balance where there is opportunity, and we want to have more local players playing the sport and scoring great goals like Chiffy did in 2011, 2012. So
I think right now what we're missing is an infrastructure, where youth players can really develop. We've been to Vietnam, we've been to Indonesia, we've been to Thailand. We see they have fantastic facilities where young players can go and grow, right? So what do you think we need to add to the Philippines to make sure that we do have more young players coming and young local talent coming through?
I think it's established season. Once you have that, and it's of course you have to accommodate the school system and the school season as well. And you have to kind of work out what's best for the player itself and best for the young kids, and making sure they have the best opportunity, and it's all for the football reasons.
Do we need better facilities? Do we need better coaches coming in? I don't know. What do you think?
I think a bit of something. Not saying that all coaches coming are going to take over, but of course they come in and share their ideas, and obviously when they come in, they understand how the Philippines works, and they learn as well the culture and learn how football's run in the Philippines. So this one.
Random fan question.
Another fact. Oh, we've got another one in.
Yeah,
a last minute random fan question.
Okay, last one. Okay, going slightly away from football. How's your love life?
My love life. It's very good.
Is that a question from the Philippines? Because that one always seems to come from the Philippines.
Is that for both of us? Yeah. Okay.
I'm getting married. I'm getting married soon.
Phil's due to get married.
With the love of my life.
Yes, I will be the best man. I am the best man, just to clarify this.
Yes, you are, and you need to start planning your speech.
I have started planning it. I've been watching Wedding Crashers for ideas. Now, my love life good. It's at the moment focused on football, but I'm currently seeing someone back in Manila, and it's going really well so far.
For the two of you.
Oh, we've got
The
more
both of us.
questions. We've got questions for both of us. So
We can
I
read
think
this together.
RV Rivera asked us the question earlier. Yep, she asked you a question earlier, James. But
Cool.
do you want to read out the question?
Yeah, sure. From RV Rivera, the arrival of a big name such as Coach Sven has certainly attracted a lot of interest around the world. Apparently more players in top European leagues have been considered suiting up for the Azkals. Some fans and some former players, however, argue the management should focus on the team we have now and our grassroots programs. Can we arrive at a compromise?
Oh, good question.
Very good
That is
question.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously we're aware that there are players in Europe that have Filipino blood. Who have not yet suited up for the Azkals, but they're playing in top leagues in Europe. Obviously, having them with the team would obviously bring a lot of quality to the team. But also, you have to consider, the team we have now, and what makes a good team is gelling together and being together with each other and playing with each other. And you can have the best players in the world, but if they don't play as a team, you won't get results. So I think it's about having a balance. I think the players that have been mentioned playing in the top leagues in Europe, they're fantastic players, and I think us as players, we'd welcome them coming into the team because we can learn from them, they can learn from us, and hopefully they can be with the team for the foreseeable future. But I think compromise is the right word.
Yep.
Finding a balance. I think balance is probably more the right word.
Yep.
Finding a balance between bringing in all the quality and at the same time making sure we've got a team that can give us the best results in the Asian Cup.
Yeah, and I add to that, like as you said, we've got a big name and well-experienced coach in Coach Sven, and he understands how we've learned a lot from him already, and he's one to not like say this guy is automatically in the team just by their name. It's we always feel as players that players will come in and they have to prove that they should be part of the team, and there is no one on the team who has an automatic free ticket into the squad. Everyone has to keep working hard and show that they want to be part of the team and be a great team player and do the best they can do.
Yeah, it's one thing being a very good player, and that that's always good. It's always great having someone who's very talented and with a lot of quality. But one of the things you have to make sure is do I fit in the system? Does James fit in the system? Do the new players fit in the system? So it's the same for everyone. And but we're looking forward to having these players because we want to meet them, we want to play with them, we want to. We think they can improve the team and make us better. So. But again, it's about finding the right balance, and I'm sure Sven, Scott, and Chris, that's their job, to make sure that there is that right balance, and I'm sure they will. We trust them that they can do that. So it's a bright future ahead for Philippine football.
And now we have a question from a Sadelf Tubas.
Who's that?
Who's that? We have a question. Have you guys ever fought over anything? Never.
No, we've the fights, as we become older and more mature,
They're less physical.
there
more with your words and your mind.
we were being brothers, being competitive brothers, we would often argue, and when we were younger, there would be some physical fights that mum and dad had to break up sometimes. But that's I think that's natural within any family, especially me and James. We're very competitive, and I think that competitiveness has actually helped us because James has pushed me to do better, and I've pushed him to do better.
We can actually share a few stories because Coach Scott actually asked us before when we were travelling, have we ever fought? And we were happy to share one. We'll share one with you guys. It's one time we were in Germany with Chelsea Football Club and for an indoor football tournament, and we were roommates. I can't remember why we were fighting. That's how silly it was. But I remember you bought your tennis racket because you wanted to play tennis at the hotel.
Yeah, there's a tennis court.
And we got in a fight, and I remember you grabbing the tennis racket and swinging and hitting me at the back. It was like in Anchorman where Ron Burgundy gets hit by Veronica at the back. But then also the lamp went on the floor.
I remember one where how old were we when I got
the stabbing? Yeah, the stabbing.
So basically, James was strangling me. strangling.
Like Homer Simpson and Bart Simpson.
Yeah, I thought I was going to die.
Lad.
And then I grabbed, as you see in the movies, you grab the nearest thing to you, and it was a pencil. I think it was a pencil actually. I grabbed the pencil, and then I I've sort of stabbed at James's.
Right here, I've got the scar.
James's arm, and James had blood pouring down his arm.
And a sticking in my arm.
But if I hadn't done that, I may not be here today because James was strangling me pretty hard.
Don't be dramatic.
And then there was one in the Philippines.
Recently, yeah.
I wanted to.
When we first moved to
the Philippines, we were designing like a training facility, and we were doing it together. And then James went to his room, was doing his own thing, and then I was still carrying on with the drawings. And I was asked, James, you're not going to stay involved, you're not going to help. James wanted to do his own thing,
Creative differences.
Words.
Right, that's the word.
Yeah, I mean, we had then we started arguing, having a disagreement. Then it ended up becoming physical, and then furniture went everywhere. Our mum was trying to split us up. My mum was crying. Oh, what bad boys we are.
Yeah. And then I got you in the walls of Jericho.
No. But yeah, I mean, it was more so when we were young. But now I can't even remember our last physical. Well, I remember those instances.
Now we take a deep breath, and the bigger we apologise.
We never have any physical fights now. We're a lot. We've grown up a lot, and even if we do something wrong, or I think as individuals, we're the first to admit to ourselves that we've done something wrong, and we'll quickly apologise. And it's we're a lot better now. I think a few weeks ago, James was giving me a ride home. He wanted to.
I think we've shared enough stories.
Well, he wanted to do something quickly. I needed to be somewhere, and James asked me if he could go, and I maybe didn't react very nicely. I knew I was in the wrong, so I quickly, straight away, a few seconds later, I apologised to James. I said, James, I was in the wrong.
And
right.
then I stopped the car and said, "Get out."
He left me on the streets. I had to walk home. No.
Very good question, Sidel. Yeah. Very good question.
Okay. And what does the Askau name mean? Okay, Askau means, in the Philippines, it means street dog. Okay, so I think it...
You'll see many of them if you go to the Philippines. You'll see many street dogs.
Yeah, lots of... I think it, more than anything, it signifies, the attitude of a street dog, They're not... I want to say this the right way, but, they're not given much in life. They haven't been, given... but they're there. They fight and they scrap, and they, no matter what's put in front of them, they have to deal with it. And no matter what challenges, whether it's to find food or whether it's to find shelter, that's their job to survive. They find a way, and they find a way. And I think that's why we've become associated with the name, because, especially we've been supported a lot better recently, but there were times when there was challenges put in front of us. Even now there are still challenges, but we try and find a way. And I think that's why I think we typify an Askau, a street dog, more than anything.
Last question. What are your Christmas holiday plans?
From Jubilee to Asson.
Hi Jubilee.
Hi Jubilee. I thought your writing said Jollibee earlier. Yeah, Jubilee. What's our Christmas plans?
Yeah, holiday plans.
Holiday plans. Go on, brother.
Well, after the Suzuki Cup, we have a little break. That the coaching staff and management have been nice enough to give the players, and then I think after Christmas we plan to go straight away to Asian Cup, to the Middle East, to prepare for the Asian Cup. But my plans, I'll be likely going to London.
Yeah, we won't have too long. Maybe, if we're lucky, maybe a couple of weeks at most to rest and recover. But then we have to start our training camp for the Asian Cup. Most likely we'll be going back. Most Christmases we go back to England, and have a cold Christmas. So that will probably be most likely the plan this year again.
Say goodbye.
Okay.
Thank you first of all, we'd like to thank you all for your brilliant questions. Fantastic
fantastic. Very, very good. Very good questions.
But the Vietnamese fans, there's some tricky questions there.
Yeah.
But thank you very much, and it was good actually asking you the questions.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thank you for all the questions, and thank you for this opportunity, and I hope to do it again sometime.
Very enjoyable. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Come on.